Levi invites his scum friends, his dudes with tattoos and everything, his ladies with backstories and everything. And Levi's unashamed. He calls his friends and says, I want you to meet this man right here, Jesus, who saved my life. I want to pause right now. Because I'm wondering how many of us would be so daring courageous to invite our scum to meet Jesus who saved our life. How many of us would invite our friends who we used to hang out with before we got all good and great? How many of us would invite those folks in your life who you have a special place for? You may not roll with them anymore, but you know you're on the phone trying to figure out what's going on down there. I can't go hang out down there anymore, but I still want to know it because it'll live my people. You don't want nothing bad to happen to the people. Now you may not want to be seen with them in daylight.
Amen.
Now I'm just keeping it real. But Levi says, you know what? I'm bringing all my people because we're going to have a party for this man right here who changed my life, who brought so much of me to invite me out of all the stuff that I was doing, robbing people, cheating people, and to bring them on here so they can see and experience who this great man is. And Levi was sitting with Jesus during the party. And folks were wondering, at the after party, some folks said, well, Jesus, if you all that. Listen, John the Baptist folks, they used to do a lot of praying, they fast, they would tear before the Lord, they lay down on the ground and belly flop and do all this stuff, wait for God to show up, and they would do all kinds of stuff. How come your people don't do that? They said, well, Jesus, the Pharisees, their folks do this and do that. Man, they got a regimen that they do. And I can imagine they went on and said, well, the Sadducees, they do this and this. Jesus, what's up with your people? They look like all y'all want to do is eat and drink. Jesus, I imagine, y'all got to work with me here because I have a very vivid imagination. I pray that it's grounded in theology and affirmed by the Bible. But Jesus was like, look, ain't nothing wrong with the 3 F's. And I had somebody say, 3 F's, what you mean? Great food, great fellowship, and growing great friendship. Ain't nothing wrong with the 3 F's. He said, y'all got a problem with that? He said, but you got all these people here. How come y'all want to spend time praying and y'all was eating all this food and burgers and dog? Had some turkey burgers up in there. Had a ton of vegetables for the vegetarians. Had some peas and rice, potato salad, and then had all kinds of dessert. Had cakes and pies, truffle cake. I mean, is that how y'all Christians get down? And Jesus was like, what's the problem with it? Jesus was cool, y'all. Jesus was like, look, what's the problem? When you go to a wedding and you at the reception and somebody puts a meal in front of you, do you not eat? I mean, if you go to a wedding and they about to pass the toast, and don't get me wrong, they may have a little bubbly in the glass for the adults and have a little apple cider for the children. Do you not participate in the toast and beating the new couple well? Jesus was like, what kind of sense does that make? It's a party, y'all. Jesus said there will be a time when the journey that you're on will take you through some highs and lows. And in those moments is where we practice what we call spiritual discipline, where we pray and we fast and we tarry before the Lord. But in the high times, in the celebratory times, when we want to get together and enjoy one another, enjoy. So some folks went off and they were like, okay, cool, I'm good with that. And then after the after party, Jesus says, look, I'm not even going to let the rest of y'all try to pigeonhole me, corner me into the wall. I'm just going to share something with y'all. First of all, and we have this image of Jesus being kind of like, if you watch Star Wars, Yoda, right? Kind of like Does it really make sense to rip up some old clothes and to patch up your new clothes with it? I mean, Jesus, like, for real, let's just be real. You got a new shirt. You're going to take an old shirt, that old pattern, and patch up your new shirt with the old shirt? Nah, man, it ain't happening. Even then, Jesus like, nah, it ain't happening. No. And then Jesus says, okay, you're not feeling it. Would you take new wine, new pressed wine from the vineyard and put it in an old wine skin? Let me share with you why it doesn't even make sense. Wine skins were made out of goat skin. And the folks would take goat skin and they would let it dry and they would sew it and stitch it together so it became watertight. And then when they had the goat skin watertight, they would put in the new wine, and the wine would age in the wine skin. When the wine aged, believe it or not, it expanded. It's a fermentation process. So all of the stuff in the wine gets all excited and energetic, and it just bubbles up and it bubbles up, and it begins to expand. So that when the wine is ready to be drunken, the original wine skin has expanded to hold the full body of the wine. So that when you open the top and it goes, that last piece of air comes out and that wine is ready to breathe and then be drank. If you take the old wine skin and fill it up with new wine, what's going to happen? The new wine is going to want to expand. But the old wine skin has already expanded to its fullest capacity, which means they expand anymore would burst. So Jesus said, it doesn't make sense because not only would you waste the new wine, but now you're down one wine skin. But then he says this, and here's where I want to spend the balance of my time. And no one, after drinking old wine, desires new. For he says the old is good. Now what in the world do we do with that? On one hand, the old wineskin represents the old traditional church. Yeah, watch me. I'm going in. Kids say I'm going in. The old traditional church. The old traditional church has expanded so much that if it expanded anymore, it would bust the seams of the church. Watch, be careful. The old church has done all the new stuff so many times that the new stuff is now old. I just imagine when they had the first Children's Day, that it was a new idea. But now that multiple generations of us have gone through Children's Day, when all the children line up ceremonially and they say their 2 lines of scripture for the year, that don't work. I imagine that the old church had Youth Sunday, the one celebratory moment where all the young people participate in the service. It would be the Youth Sunday where Sister Laura and Sister Matt and well, I guess Brother Emmett would be a children's son, so he couldn't play on Youth Sunday. But the point is, there'd be one Sunday a year where all the young people would participate in the service. And after multiple generations of that happening, I think that's all played out. The fact is that our young people need to be actively present now. And so that old wine, as much as we love it, I'm not talking bad, I'm just talking real. As much as we love it, has to change. We need a new wine skin so that we can create something new that can now expand based on our needs and challenges. As opposed to just fitting in the old mold. I'm almost done. But Jesus says here, and no one after drinking old wine desires new. Where it says the old is good, that old aged, experienced wine that is fermented for years, aged years, is the real deal. That new stuff that y'all trying to set up now, it don't taste like the old stuff. And the reality is this: that the wine is the blood of God, the blood of Jesus. The same blood that has flowed through all these generations. Challenge you is, how do we create a new space for that old blood to flow through? The Word of God does not change. No matter how many times you translate, interpret it, whatnot, the Word of God does not change. So you can stand up here and preach, Pastor, with no choir roll, church roll, pastor roll on, and the Word of God still be the Word of God. You can stand up here and preach, Pastor, with shorts on, no socks on, but the Word of God is still the Word of God. We can, community of love, be inspired to create a new existence for folks who want to be challenged in their present situations without feeling bad about themselves, without feeling like they are less than everybody else. We can be who we are right now and understand and realize God loves us right where we are without having to change our external appearance. Because when the wine gets inside of us, the wine, believe it or not, will change us from the inside out. When you feel good about who you are in here, then you look good out here. It's just something about the way that God has created us, that when I'm feeling good about myself, I look better. It's not the different makeup that I use, it's not a different hairstyle, it's not a different, it's in here. When I allow the Word of God to permeate my heart and penetrate all the hardness that I have in me. When I learn to trust people who God has put in my life to be trusted for that season and for God's reason, then I feel good about who I am. When I realize that I may not match up to these people over here, I may not be able to compete with these people over here, but I am who God created me all by myself. Then I know that I'm valuable and I have currency in God's kingdom. When I know that, and I know that here, then it resonates up here and all through who I am. That's why I can walk the streets and feel good about who I am and greet people. And when they don't say